a Ghanatube so ebuzia form dot slow mesan so emamo akwa ababiom matna CD na ewie insem ahodo enkoso ewo oman Ghana na enzempara no me ntwentwen so emfama mo no yebeka kotie insem ahodo bi a ekoso ewo oman Ghana.
Question is the same question to His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, President of Ghana.
Moderator, thank you very much for the opportunity. And like my colleagues, I would like to begin by thanking Professor Rama for the invitation to join the Assembly today, and also to wish him the best of luck in his new career. He has been an outstanding champion of the African cause, and all of us should thank him very much for the work that he has done. I, in Ghana, as President of Ghana, have a particular reason for being always very solicitous of the welfare of Orama. At the time of the difficulties that the COVID-19 brought to us and our access to the capital markets of the world, Afro-Exim Bank is the one that came to our aid. Gave us $750 million at the time when we couldn't access the capital markets of the world. Everybody was turning their back on us, but Orama stepped in and helped us. So as far as that's concerned, I will always be extremely grateful and solicitous of his welfare. I think that the discussion that we're having, and the discussion that we have been having on the continent in the last 2 or 3 decades all point to one fundamental fact. The institutions that we need to propel our development up till today are not in our hands. Prime Minister Patterson talked about the structure of the IMF, and he was illustrating one simple point. If you don't control the institutions of finance, you will not be able to finance your development. And I think that that is the matter that we need to pay the greatest attention to. How do we develop institutions that can enable us fund our development that we ourselves control? 2 or 3 small examples. Afro-Exim Bank today, I think, has a share capital of some $6 billion United States dollars. I'm right, somewhere in that arena. The Japan Bank for International Cooperation has a share capital of nearly 20 billion United States dollars. The Chinese Exim Bank's figures are in the region of $55 billion. That is all the difference between what Japan can do to fund its development and what we can do to fund our development. So there's a need for us to focus on what is it that we can do to transform the situation. Last 2024, which is the last year I was President of Ghana, I made a proposal at the AU that each one of the 54 countries on the continent should in future deposit 30% of its sovereign reserves with African multilateral institutions. For the simple reason that these reserves are lying in foreign banks, passive, in some cases deriving negative interest, and yet we are unable to fund our development. And it can only be done if we strengthen our own institutions like the Afro-Exim Bank, the ADB, etc. And for that to happen, we have to put our mouth where our thoughts are. We've got to be able to say to ourselves that if we are serious about the development of this continent, let us make the decisions that will enable us to resolve our problems. We can't do it. We can't do it just by talking. We have to do it by acting. And acting means what? Acting means, Professor Sachs says we have the money. Fair enough. If we can find the money, let us use it to develop our own institutions. Let's step back from the discussion, the eternal discussion about debt. We are not going to get any relief of any significant nature from the Western powers as far as debt is concerned. We're asked to pay a risk premium paid by people whose default rates are lower than comparable debts in other regions of the country, whose recovery rates are higher than it is from other areas of the world, largely because of what? Prejudice and exploitation. And we have to understand this situation in order for us to be able to diagnose and do the right thing. But the most critical, the institutions that will enable us to fund our development, the African Central Bank that has been on the table for the last 20 years, headquartered in Lagos in Nigeria, the African Investment Bank, which has also been on the table for the same period, the African Monetary Fund, which has been on the table for the same period. None of these institutions are yet anywhere near being operational. Why is that? Those are decisions we can take for ourselves, and they are the decisions that we need to take. And these are the few comments I make.
Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency.
Nigeria are also facing prosecution as well. So that case is something that we are still continuing with. And I believe that when we are able to conclude, finally we'll inform the public as well. And your last one had to do with a story in the media about the arrest of Mr. Maxwell Kofi Juma. Yes, that's accurate. Mr. Maxwell Kofi Juma was arrested based on a complaint that was, or a petition that was submitted to us by the ĽHOCKS Distilleries Company Limited. We received a petition to the effect that some vehicles which were the property of that company had been stolen by the said Maxwell Kofi Juma. Warrants for arrest was properly secured, and that was the basis for which he was arrested, and he's in our custody at the CID headquarters and is assisting with investigation. I must mention that as at this afternoon, we have retrieved 3 vehicles, so the said vehicles that were stolen by him have been retrieved. So he's really assisting us with the investigation, and then we will take it up from there. Yes, thank you.
Okay, we'll take the next question from Teddy, TVXYZ.
My name is Teddy Maudi with SYZ Broadcasting. I want to know, madam, how far with suspect Alonyo's case? Alonyo, yes. The last time you were fast, I want to know how fast the case.
Yes, that has to do with the killing of 5 people in his home, the one related to San Winnie. Yes. Pardon? Asiyao, yes. Asiyao, yes. It's also an active investigation. We have made quite a significant progress. We made a number of arrests. We have had to go back to the scene, done our usual reconstruction of the scene and all of that. And we are almost through with the dockets to be handed over to the Office of the Attorney General for prosecution. So we have made significant progress in that case as well. Thank you.
Any other question? Any other question? Okay, let's take the last one.
I just want to ask briefly or quickly, do we have any updates yet on the former Ashanti Regional Chairman of the Chairman of Ghanatube?
Yes, that case is also actively ongoing. Chairman Wontumi has visited us a couple of times. He's also actually supposed to be coming back to us sometime this week. Unfortunately, he was ill. His lawyer submitted a letter to us that he was ill, and I believe he's now okay because we have communicated to them that he should be seeing us this week, and they have responded. So that investigation is also actively ongoing. I must mention that he's not the only one we've arrested or we are investigating. There are a number of people that we are considering persons of interest. Last week, for example, he had a partner, one Akwoku, who was part of the investigation to do with Akunta mining. He was also arrested here and detained. We've taken statements from him and we are continuing with that investigation. So I want to assure you that that particular investigation is actively ongoing, and when we are done, we will definitely inform the public on the final action. Thank you.
Motie ama mo de comment me or commentation monye sa enfama me na menkin kai ema mo fefefe aha Ghanatube subim on subscribe ya ebusiafo to bo ase na subscribe na Facebook me a notification bell no so se na bia nsem no me tuma na wenya ne intempas me ma we mfin so se obe like na afin so wa share in videos we channel we so ebusiafo aha Ghanatube so mo do for snowy sisi ade makramo